Thank you, everybody, and good morning, and welcome to our beautiful city of Las Vegas. And I'm not going to say very much this morning because we have probably one of the greatest citizens of the city here, Mayor Oscar Goodman, former Mayor Oscar Goodman, and I want to share with you just a couple things about him. Oscar Goodman has a very interesting past, and as you guys are going to find out today, that he has worked for some of the most notorious people that you probably have ever heard of. But the one thing I want to share with you, Oscar Goodman, is he's tough on the outside, but he's got a great heart. And I have never met anybody that has the integrity of an Oscar Goodman. And when he says he'll do something, he'll do something. And when he ran for mayor 12 years ago, nobody thought, or more than 12 years ago, nobody thought that he'd be the mayor. But not only did he win, he won by an overwhelming majority every time that he ran. And I will tell you that in this city, that all of us hold him in a very high regard. And there's a deep abiding love for not only the person that he is, but for what he did for the city. He walked through the most difficult times that the city had, and he's always been the cheerleader. And when he says that he's the happiest mayor in the universe, he means in parallel universes as well. Because he is, and he's one of those guys who's infectious with his enthusiasm. He loves what he does. He truly loves the city, even though he's originally from Philadelphia. We don't hold that against him. And he's here today by invitation. We're so happy to have him. He will be autographing and writing for you in this book, the most recent book, Being Oscar. And I really encourage all of you to take advantage of that. Spend a few seconds or minutes with him this morning. Have him sign the book. We've got plenty for everybody here. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce Oscar Goodman.
Good. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Jim. T.R.A.F.I.C, what a great name. It gets no better than that. I met Jim when I was the mayor, and I had been the mayor for 12 years, and he came up with this idea of T.R.A.F.I.C. I had no idea what he was talking about. I am a dinosaur in the age of computers, but he promised me that if we entered into an agreement with him as a city of Las Vegas, with T.R.A.F.I.C, that he would treat us well, and he basically made a deal with the city. He was outstanding, and we hope to have the fruits of that agreement bear fruit very, very soon. I come from a little different background than most big city mayors. As you can see, I represented some reputed mobsters over the years, and I had represented somebody who was charged with killing a federal judge down in Texas. I represented a federal judge in an impeachment trial before the United States Senate, and I had then done everything that I could as a lawyer. I said to my wife and 4 children when we were on a cruise in the Caribbean, I think I'd like to do something different. They said, what do you have in mind, Dad? I said, I think I'd like to run for mayor. Well, we have a very democratic family, and we take a vote on anything that affects one another. And I was making a lot of money as a lawyer, and the mayor's job paid $48,000. So they were entitled to the vote, and my wife abstained, and the 4 children voted 4-0 against me. I said, why? They said, there's no way you can win, Dad. You have more baggage than the skycaps out of the airport. But I taught them, and I'm going to share with you the real reason that I ran for mayor. It's not that I had done everything as a lawyer, but I had the privilege of playing myself in the movie Casino. Has everybody seen that? Okay. Every time you watch the movie, I make 13 cents. So please, keep on watching it. It's a great movie. And can you imagine your first movie with Scorsese as your director, and being a star with De Niro and Pesci and Sharon Stone? It was awesome. And the movie came out, and my mother called me, and she said, Oscar, I saw your movie, and it's a good thing you're a lawyer. I wasn't getting any phone calls for other parts, and I figured that one way that I could strike up my movie career would be the mayor, because City Hall was in charge of the permitting process for any movies that were going to be made in Las Vegas. So that was the first thing I did. When I got elected, I went up to the 4th floor instead of going up to 10, where the mayor's office was, and spoke to the woman who was in charge of permitting. And I said, ma'am, I'm your new mayor, and I have a directive for you. She said, what's that, sir? I said, before you issue a permit to anybody to make a movie in Las Vegas, you have to tell them that the mayor has to have a part. She said, you can't do that. I said, I can, I'm the mayor. Well, 2 weeks go by, the receptionist says, Mayor, guess who's out here? I said, who's here? She said, Jackie Chan. I said, send the gentleman right in. So Jackie Chan comes into my office. He says, Mayor, I can't believe what I just heard. For us to make Rush Hour 2 in Las Vegas, you have to have a part? I said, absolutely. It was a great part. It was at the Desert Inn before they imploded it. I was with Jackie Chan, Alan King, Chris Tucker, and the movie came out, cutting room floor. I said, get Chan on the phone. I said, Chan, do you know who I used to represent? I said, do you know what these people were charged with? And I'm going to tell you something. I am really very, very angry, and I promise you one thing. As long as I'm the mayor, you will never, ever make Rush Hour 3 in the city. I scared him so much, I am in the DVD. Next one. This was Ocean's 11, the sequel. Unbelievable scene over at the MGM. I'm with Danny Gans, with Wayne Newton, Siegfried and Roy. Great, great scene, cutting room floor. So I went to our city attorney, and I said, you know, Brad, a fraud is being perpetrated upon the city of Las Vegas. We're giving out these permits to make movies on the premise that I have a part, and they pretend that I have a part until the movie comes out and I'm on the cutting room floor. He said, what can I do for you, Mayor? I said, I want a binding contract. I want a contract that says if they do that, that they admit the fraud, and I'll be able to enjoy the movie from being shown in the theater. He said, you can't do that. I said, I can. I'm the mayor. Next movie that comes here, we signed the contract. It was called Angel Blade, and I don't know whether you saw it or not, but they told me it was going to be an exotic thriller. It turns out it's an erotic thriller. And I am in that movie. So that's the way it is, folks. I can't help it, but you know, I'm getting into this domain thing. It really, this is really great, and I'm so happy that you came to Las Vegas to have these discussions about the domain names, because Las Vegas really is beginning to pride itself on being a very important city as far as the internet is concerned and as far as technology is concerned. We have the CES here, of course, and Gary Shapiro, with whom I had lunch about 2 weeks ago back in DC, just raved about Las Vegas as being the city of the future and how much he likes coming out with CES. And we have the Zappos group that moved into downtown Las Vegas, and they stress technology, which is terrific. We've got Switch, which is a very, very high-level technology institution. And of course, we have Creech Air Force Base and Nellis Air Force Base, where they're testing the drones right now. And basically, we could very well be the home of the drones and the future of the drones as that technology is developed. So the fact that you're here, have you been here all 10 years that you've been in existence?
4 years at the Venetian and second year here, and 1 year at the Hard Rock.
Okay, but so 6 out of 10 years in Las Vegas.
Seven.
Okay, because had I known that you may have been someplace else other than Las Vegas, I would have had the two of you guys whacked. I can't put it any other way. There's nothing else I can say. So, I had nothing to do when I got through being the mayor. I took a job with the Convention Authority on the brand, and ordinarily I have two beautiful showgirls with me at all times, and a very nice Bombay martini, Bombay Sapphire martini that I carry around. But you folks were a little too cheap in order to pay for that, so I stand here naked, in effect, before this audience. But it really is great being here. And Jim, people ask me all the time whether I miss being the mayor, and the truth of the matter is, I miss it every single second. I love being the mayor of Las Vegas, but I can tell all of you, it's better sleeping with the mayor. Yeah, Carolyn and myself, we made American history. It's the first time in the history of the United States that a mayor swore in a spouse to succeed that mayor. And my wife is really, she's a great mayor, and she's enjoying every single second. And if she wrote a book, she would be here too today. Thank you very much.